Hey y'all, let's go get up in here. Listen, I want to talk about sexual preferences today. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I should talk about, and sexuality just came to my mind. And I know there's a lot of taboo around sexuality, and it's actually something that I've been shameful of in some of my adult life. So I just want to bring it to the forefront and open the discussion around it, see what you guys have to say, how you feel about it, and then maybe explore it a little more down the line. So, my name is Miss Sinclair, also known as the Feminine Boss, and I help millennial women navigate through life changing experiences. I found myself divorced, depressed, and financially bankrupt back in 2018, and I've been able to recreate my life through strategic moves and really aligning myself with values and things that really matter to me most. And I want to help you through that. Like when you're making life changes, sometimes it's hard to have mental clarity and confidence going into another direction. So allow me to be your guide. Ask me questions, leave me comments. I want to make this interactive and I want to help you grow into the next version of yourself. And you know what's so funny? The other day I heard a quote that said, you are not here to conform, you are here to transform. And so I know there is always a personal transformation happening. Like the people who say, I'm good just the way that I am, or I don't need to change, I don't need to do anything differently. I stay away from those people because they don't understand life. They don't understand the natural laws of life. Everything changes, right? And so I want to give you the power and the tools and the insight to actually make change in your life the way that you want to, right? Not the way that society tells you, or you having to live up to other people's opinions and perceptions. The way that you want to live your life, you can do it. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have any obligations to anybody but yourself. Okay, you don't need to have any commitments to anybody but yourself. I don't care about your man, your job, your family, your friends. You commit to yourself first, and I swear to everything I love that you will live a more peaceful life. You will have more joy, you'll be more happier, and you'll be more confident in your endeavors. So let's talk about it. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Actually, that song came to mind because I did a promo video um for Planned Parenthood last year or earlier this year, and I started the video out like that. I wish I could just edit it and add it to this video somehow. I'll try to look for it and see if I can put it in as a clip. But anyway, moving on. I'm about to go to the gym, y'all, but I'm like, uh-oh, I didn't make my video today. I didn't go live today. So let's get into it. There's a lot of taboo around sexuality. There's a lot of shame around sexuality. There's a lot of confusion around sexuality. I have been very free in the realms of sexuality. Like, I have always expressed my sexuality, I have always enjoyed my sexuality. And I was very promiscuous during my late teenage years, like, from like, I want to say from like 17 to like 22, 23. Like I was very, very promiscuous, and I enjoyed my sexuality. And I after like 23, by this time I was married and everything, and I was feeling a lot of shame for the way that I felt and the way that I wanted to express myself. But one thing that I would say is that, one, if you are a young woman above age, because I do believe that you should be, I mean, even 18 these days is young because we're not growing spiritually the way that we need to. But if you are a mature, responsible woman enjoying her sexuality, and it feels good to you, and you are making clear and sober conditions around it, and it's something that you want and not necessarily that the other person wants, and you are practicing your own power by choosing and not being chose, okay? I think that it can be very healing. I think that it can provide comfort and mental clarity. I think that it is a stress reliever, and it is our most creative way of being. Like, it is, some people say that you can even manifest during orgasms, which lately I have been trying, I'm not going to lie. I've been, um, whenever I'm to the point of climax, I get into deep thought and visualization of where I see myself. And this is how you use it to use your power, right? One, you're practicing the art of it because you want it, not the other person wants it, right? And then you are connecting your spirituality, your connection, your visions for your life for the purpose of moving forward. And more importantly, the attachment. Okay, this is something that I really need to talk about because I think that this is where it gets a little dangerous. You know, women, we are naturally more emotional than men. We cleave a little more than men. And if you know that you are an emotional woman who may not have as much control of her emotions, especially involving sexual acts, then I would really, really, advise you not to play a sexual pursuit or game, right? I think that you really need to put yourself first in all aspects of your life, including your sex life, right? If you know that you are not going to get what you want from the other person after you guys' encounter, then don't do it, right? A person like me, I enjoy the physical aspects of it. And so I've never really attached to a person based on our engagement. It was more so I enjoyed that person and the way that we tangled. But if you know that when you engage with a person and you fall in love, you need to make the conscious decision to be responsible. And this is why I say that even 18 is a young age these days, because we have not really come into the woman who thinks for herself. We can be easily manipulated. And it can be harmful for us because we're putting so much into an engagement with a person thinking that they owe us something, and in fact no one owes you anything. And so this is where you really have to use your wisdom and your personal power to make decisions around this part of your life. um and again, I've been a little shameful about it because I felt like, oh, well, maybe I've done too much of this in my life. But even as a grown woman, now being 36, I still feel like I enjoy it, and even now I still have to make decisions, the best decisions for me in my lifestyle, right? And so, I want to tell any other woman who feels these urges or feels the need to use your discretion, play when you want to play, how you want to play, and who you want to play with. You use your feminine power to choose, and not necessarily in exchange for anything, but the sole act of. I'm reading this book. Y'all know I'm always reading. I'm reading this book, The Sacred Prostitute, and at first I thought it was a book about women and their sexual liberation and the way that, um, their sexuality was used as a healing tool for communities, which it was. Um, they worshipped love goddesses who brought more loving energy and peace to society, by sharing their love parts, right, and engaging with men, right. It was sacred. It was sacred at one time for a woman to share her sexuality, in order to help people through grief and heartache and give the world a experience of love. As I'm reading in this book, then it started to be used against them, right? So instead of being in temples and I don't want to say holy, but temples and high I'm not sure what word to use, but sacred spaces, they begin to be put into brothels, having their sexuality used against them in some regions, and in some deities, well, not deities, but communities, I'll say. They were their sexuality was used against them when they committed a crime, so they would be forced into prostitution, whenever they committed a crime, and, who determines what a crime is, right? And so it's very interesting. I think that now this book is just giving you a journey of feminine sexuality, and, I don't know what the purpose of the book is now, but it's very interesting that it started out as something sacred, and then, you know, um, something healing, and, rituals were done around, sexual acts, but then it kinda turned into, shame and being forced upon women, and, this world, this is why I say you really have to live your life the way that you want to live them. There's so many people and things trying to tell you what to be, who to be, how to act, when nobody opinion matters but you. No one's opinions matters but you. It is up to you to shift your mind to say that this is good or this is bad. It's totally up to you. And I mean, it brings me back to religion, because I think religion is the oldest set of structure that has been put on humanity, and it is supposed to give us a guidance in life. And I believe that all religions have great foundations and great storytelling, and it humanizes our experience so that we can understand and be guided through this life. However, I also do believe that religion hinders us from fully expressing ourselves. It's like you feel a way inside, and it hurts you to feel a way inside, but you cannot experience the way you feel because you'll be shunned. And I don't believe in that. I believe that only you can say if something is bad or something is good. I believe that we all have control of our own emotions and personal perceptions and opinions. And in fact, we are all made of God. And so if I can decide that this is right or wrong for my individual journey, it has nothing to do with anyone else, especially if I'm not harming anybody, if, I am not impacting anyone directly. This is my own personal journey. And so I urge and I advise you to put your own sexual experiences in your own hands and be responsible. Some women may say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that." Well, who were you? You are no one but another human being. But I respect you because you're also godlike, and we are all made from the same source. And I respect you and I love you, but you are living in a different reality than I am. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I need to place rules and, standards on my life that don't align with the way that I feel. And until I feel differently, it's not going to change. And this is another thing. See, the only reason that we believe something is because it makes us feel a certain way. Maybe the way that you believe makes you feel safe, and that's good. Well, I feel safe when I can fully express myself. I was just in bed this morning thinking that in my first marriage, that when I moved in with my husband, and we were living in his mom's house. We had moved out of state, and she had a house in the state, and we just kind of lived there. And I went from a place where I was fully expressive. I mean, in my home, in my space, flowers, just decor, pink. I want to make my space feel the way that I want to make it feel, right? It makes me feel good. It helps me operate and flow. And so I couldn't decorate. I couldn't put things on a wall. I could not decorate. The house was bland. There was no energy, and that was part of the thing that put me into a depression, because I was not expressing myself the way that I felt like I wanted to. And so I was, along with the issues in my marriage, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I don't like this. It doesn't make me feel good. And I could have went a different direction. I could have said, "You know what? I'm going to change the way that I feel about this." And the way that I can change the way that I feel is by changing the way that I think. Because the way that we think, it creates the way that we feel about something. And so I could have said, you know what, I'm just so thankful we have this huge house to live in. I love that I have my husband here with me. We have a fresh start. I'm working in a career that I love. And I could have said that, but I didn't. And I did not want to, because I wanted to live in the way that I see in my mind. I want to feel the way that I feel. Like, I want to express myself. And so you can have your own systems of beliefs. That's fine, but it doesn't affect me. And until I feel, and so, somebody will say, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Well, what if it doesn't happen? I'm not living in the present to cause me anxiety. I'm done with that. I'm not living in the past depressed about what happened. I'm living right now. And so that's why I take the power in making my own decisions about my life. I don't care. Why do you care? Why do you care about my life? Like, tell me, who are you? Like, don't worry about it. Just make sure that in this moment you feel happy, whole, and great. Just in this moment, you should feel as abundant and clear and rich and wealthy and beautiful and high. You should feel all those things in this moment. That's the only thing that matters. And that's the only thing that matters to me, is that in every moment of my life, I feel free, I feel abundant, I feel happy, I feel curious, I feel excited. I don't wanna feel boring. I don't wanna feel like I'm doing the same thing like, we are just different people. I don't get fulfilled in doing the same exact mundane thing every day. That's why 9 to 5 won't work for me. It's just my way in my reality. Some other people may have a different reality, and that's fine. And that's why I'm not you and you're not me. Uh-huh. Right? Like, so, sexuality can definitely be a sensitive topic, but if, you are a woman dealing with shame about it, maybe change the way that you think, or embrace the way that you think and the way that you feel. You have a choice, you have an option. God has given us the ability to choose and have free will. So, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to live this life in low vibrational energy? Or are you going to live in high, abundant vibrational energy and create and go out and live and express and build? You know what I mean? So, we all have choice, as long as we are all being responsible and we are loving one another, and communicating well. All is well. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.